My wife, f23, is judging me, m28, for something I didn't even know I did. Hey there. So honestly, my problem is pretty superficial, but it still annoys me. Both of us work as nursery nurses. She's in kindergarten and I work with older kids. 614. After school daycare. But also help out at a kindergarten. Both different buildings. We don't work together. So I got a trainee in our building who has a friend that is a coworker of my wife. I work occasionally with her together since we are now in the same team. TLDR is my wife had a shift with said friend. That friend had a talk with the trainee and she only seemed to talk about me. That's what the coworker said at least. Like, how nice, funny I am. That she enjoyed working with me. Working with older kids is not entirely her thing, but it was more fun since we were in the same group. Get along with each other pretty well. That my instructions are spot on and helpful. And so on. Nothing NSFW or anything. Personally would have never guessed she viewed me like that. First time I heard about it. After that her friend asked her if she knows that she is working with my wife together. She did, but it seemed she just continued the talk lol. So cutting to the chase. My wife was totally irritated and we talked about it in the evening. I gave her my side. We laughed about it and all seemed well. But she is occasionally judging, bringing it up to me. That's just her personality. She can be very jealous. And I kinda sometimes don't know how to react. I am also unsure about the trainee on how to approach that. If I should mention it to her or something. I mean, I have absolutely no feelings for her. We just got a house. Our Bernese mountain dog puppy and my life is perfectly stable. I'm more of an introvert and not a people person. Funny looking at my job, right? So I am absolutely clueless. Wouldn't even notice if I somehow flirt tbh. And my way with girls, women is even worse, so to speak. Sue. Am I just reading too much into it, being paranoid? Is it just nonsense to be worked up by that? Some tips or opinions would be appreciated, haha. Just so I can get it out of my system before my vacation ends. Is there something you want me to do about Amy? If not, can we stop talking about her? It's making me uncomfortable because I don't know what you want from me. Your wife is irritated and jealous because you're a good coworker and the trainee appreciates all the help you've given her? I am also unsure about the trainee on how to approach that. If I should mention it to her or something. No, don't. There's no reason to make her uncomfortable because she didn't do anything wrong. Your wife and her friend are making something out of nothing. I don't understand. The trainee didn't say anything bad. She was talking to her friend about a coworker that helped her and made her feel welcome. If one is stressed about a job and things go way better than expected, it would seem normal to me to talk a lot about it. It doesn't mean anything emotional or any attraction. I'm willing to bet she could have talked about you in the same way had you been a woman. I know I would have because I've done so with people of both genders. Your wife may be overly insecure, but her issues should not be taken out on you. The fact that she keeps bringing it up is passive-aggressive. Be clear with her. Nothing is happening. And nothing of what her friend said was bad in nature. The trainee stated you are a great coworker with whom she hopes to get along. Wouldn't your wife agree that you are indeed a good team worker and funny? Tell her that you are aware that she feels threatened, but that she needs to trust you and the oath of fidelity you took by marrying her. If she can't help but bringing it up, she should seek therapy. It's not normal to not be able to think before you speak. On the coworker, don't say anything to her, but do bring up your wife, marriage often in casual conversation. This is what I do naturally, but especially when I feel a coworker is getting a bit flirty. Oh, my wife and I love that restaurant. Our anniversary was last week. We did XYZ. My wife and I have plans this weekend. What are you doing? Etc. etc. Just in case the woman does have a crush. It's good to just reinforce you are off the market. But as far as your wife goes, you haven't done anything wrong. I'm not sure why she's fixated so hard. All you can do is reassure her every time she says something, I guess. Don't mention it to the girl at work. It will make things uncomfortable. Just continue being professional. Your wife being jealous is really her problem. You could reassure her that she's got nothing to worry about. Or you could tell her that you don't appreciate the judgy comments. You're not doing anything wrong though. Babe, you're just going to have to get used to living in a world where people think I'm great. If you can't cope with that, you shouldn't have picked such a wonderful man. 1. We don't know if the trainee sees you as a friendly coworker who is helpful, or if she has a crush on you. 2. Even if she does have a crush on you, so what? People are allowed to have crushes. As long as you don't reciprocate her feelings and/or want to act on them, there is no issue here. Think about it. Your wife thinks you're kind, hot, a good person? Why would she think then that she's the only person who sees those things in you and likes them? It would be naive to expect to go through life with no one else seeing what we see in our life. Partners. It doesn't matter if someone has a crush on you. It matters if your wife isn't secure enough to know that she can trust you not to act on someone having a crush on you. That's the vital part here. It's not about the trainee, it's about the trust in your relationship. I never even think about Amy unless you bring her up. How do you want me to handle this situation? I'd like to know what you want me to do so that I can go back to focusing on you. You can't fix this. She needs to fix this. And it's telling that she doesn't appear to want this fixed. Don't bring it up. You don't want to make it awkward between you and you don't want to be in a hostile situation. Just keep your distance and maintain professionalism. If she gets flirty, tell her to please respect your space. I think you might consider that your wife isn't angry at you, she's angry at the woman who seems into you. I mean, I have absolutely no feelings for her. We just got a house. Our Bernese mountain dog puppy, and my life is perfectly stable. Getting a house and a dog with someone you've just met and have no feelings for is ill-advised. Your wife caught the girl crushing on you and thinks you are enabling her attitude or flirting back. If those statements aren't true, and we know when we're flirting, because it leads us to something we want from that person, you need to have an open and honest conversation with your wife regarding your feelings too and why. Wasn't she more explicit? Or she will start to guess that you like the attention way too much. Congratulations for not being a dickhead in your professional life. But how does it make your wife insecure? Hey, why is the narrative, how do I change? And not, how will she change? She is the one with unrealistic insecurities that are hurting the marriage. You don't change to address bad behavior. The bad behavior should change. Your perspective is completely off and y'all need to have a deep conversation that will hopefully open her eyes to see how her behavior is hurting the marriage. That trainee most likely was saying nice things about you in part to get them to like her. Boy, did that backfire. It is a way to bond with co-workers by saying that you like so and so to people who most likely likes them too. But she is occasionally judging, bringing it up to me. That's just her personality. She can be very jealous. You're surprised your 23-year-old bride is acting like she's 23? The trainee clearly knew that your wife was present when she described how cool, witty, and smart you were, and therefore wasn't hinting that she was enamored with you. So I wouldn't mention it her. Your wife's jealousy will look for things for its validation. So it will be a reoccurring annoying thing long term. Unless your wifey poo learns to control it. And you should encourage her in doing so every time it crops up. Otherwise, you should just be you. Stay in your comfort zone and most of life will come out okay. Nuff said. Jealousy is something you need to work through together. It is a sign that your wife does not feel emotionally safe in your relationship, and just trying to do the right thing all the time might make things worse. I suggest to work with someone external to facilitate you through the crises that can deepen your relationship. Since this is a coworker, and you both need to get along with her, I would talk seriously with your wife about getting her head on straight. This is about your wife, not your coworker. Don't talk to your coworker about this. Don't offer to talk to her about it. Focus on your wife. She is the issue. Is your wife jealous because she's afraid you don't love her? Does she feel as though you're not showing her love in a way she can identify? Is she just generally insecure? Is there a problem in your marriage you're not addressing? Whatever it is, counseling is probably the best answer. Counseling to focus on your wife's insecurities and jealousies, and whether you're doing something to trigger them. Regardless, this is all about your wife's feelings, not your behavior. I don't think anything bad was said to imply that you had an inappropriate relationship with this coworker. But your wife may be feeling some insecurity in herself, which is why she brings it up. She may want to have another discussion about it, but doesn't want to make it seem like she's accusing you? I don't know. I'm trying to see it from her angle. My other half works with women sometimes and they're prettier than I am. That makes me insecure because my last ex cheated on me. I mention sometimes that I get worried and insecure. But I mention it from the angle that it's a me problem because I find him so gosh darn attractive. He tells me to stop being a twat and that he loves me. That's our sense of humor.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.